What's up, y'all? My name is Jackson Durham, and this is my 2025 season in the bag. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Jackson. I live in the O'Fallon, Missouri area. I've played disc golf now for probably around 3 years. My PDGA number is 242095. I really have enjoyed my disc golf journey so far, and now that I'm kind of getting more into the social media side of it, aspect of it, I thought that it would be cool to record it in the bag. It's one of my personal favorite social media, I guess, watches when it comes to disc golf, because no matter what part of the game you're in, whether you're an amateur or a pro, it's always super fun to see what other people are bagging and compare it to my own. So yeah, let's go ahead and hop into it. So for putters, putt-in putters, I use soft focuses. A lot of people don't really prefer the soft plastic, but it's my personal favorite. I just think that it is really grippy. When it comes to the winter, they get, about as hard as a normal plastic blend would be. And then when it comes to the summer, they are a little bit workable, but I have had these ones for quite a while, which is why they're super scuffed and beat. I actually just bought a new pair, so maybe you'll see that pop up soon. But yeah, I just really like the bead on them, have a really nice, consistent straight path. I kind of putt on a lot of hyzer, so it just goes dead straight for me, even with that hyzer. It doesn't really fade as much as some other putters do. For throwing putters, I've got quite a few of them because throwing putters have got to be one of my favorite slots in the bag. So this is my personal all-time favorite disc, and that's why you're going to see why I have so many of them. This is the DGA Surf. It's a straight to stable throwing putter. They're just absolutely money. I've had this one for quite a while. This is the 2024 Des Moines Challenge Special Edition Ice Blend. Like I said, whenever they're straight out of the box, which this blue one is, I've had this green one for a while, so it's a lot more straight than your other surfs would be. They actually just dropped another run of them, and they're really nice and overstable. But this one is really straight. I can even get it to turn a little bit, but I never know I always know it's never gonna burn over on me. So that's really nice. And then this blue one, like I said, is a newer one that I got. Haven't really thrown it that much. Really straight and pretty much always consistently comes back left unless I'm throwing in like a huge headwind or something like that. And then I have this D-Line Surf. I just got this one, but I'm kind of hoping that I can throw it a little bit more, beat it in, and maybe it'll be a nice turnover for me to fill in that slot, just because I really like the hand feel of the surf. And so yeah, DGA Surf. My next throwing putter slot, I got a Big Z Luna. This is the Macbeth AB Big Z collab. I've had this one for quite some time. It really is a nice flip up to straight if you're throwing with no wind. But also if I throw it dead flat, I can get it to drift right pretty much majority of its flight, unless I happen to have some type of crazy tailwind or something like that. Next is my zones. I have this old Crystal Z Flex, Get Freaky Brody Smith, shout out him. Had this zone, I think whenever I started playing disc golf my first Christmas. So that would have been in like 2022, maybe Christmas of 2022. Asked for this disc, and it has been the best to me. I beat it in really nice, so it goes straight for a lot of its flight, and then still has that reliable fade like every zone does. I can even get it to flip up on a forehand. I'm not really great with my forehand or consistent, but when it comes to approach forehands, that's something that I really like to do. So I can get this one to flip up, go straight for a little bit, and then still have the zone fade. And then I just got this 2022 Crystal Z Zone. This one is a lot more overstable than that zone for me. I really know that this one in any type of wind is just gonna go dead straight for about 200, 225, maybe even 250 sometimes, and then it's gonna start hooking left. So whether that's on a forehand or a backhand, I know that that's what it's gonna do every single time. Zone, one of the best discs in the game, gotta have it in the bag. So now I'm gonna go ahead and get into my mid-ranges. I'm not a huge mid-range guy like some other people. I really do prefer to throw the putter anytime that I can. But if it's a really specific shot shape and really kind of weird distance, my putters I can usually get up to 3 max like 325, 350. So if I need something that's gonna push a little bit further, then I'll go to the mid-range. So starting with my most understable, I got this Anthony Barela signed Buzz SS. Like I said, I don't really throw it that often, but it is a money disc. Shout out Broderick, one of the guys that showed me the Buzz SS on social media, and it really is a great flying disc. Also, Anthony Barela, I don't know if you can tell, is one of my favorite disc golfers, if not my favorite disc golfer. So you're gonna see a lot of his stuff in my bag. My neutral flying slash stable mid-range is the Glacier, Prototype Glacier, the Gannon Bird disc. Just released this year, I believe, and it has been really nice. It's really torque resistant, can throw it, really know that if I throw it as hard as I want to, it's not gonna flip over, it's gonna go straight and then fade. Like I said, this is probably around 350, 350 marker, somewhere around there. So I like throwing that disc every once in a while. And then my Buzz OS. This is probably my most thrown mid-range. If there's any type of headwind or left to right crosswind at all, and I need it to go 300 to 350 with a reliable fade, I'm gonna be throwing this Buzz OS. I've kind of like to get into a little bit more of a touchy forehand with it too. I really, I prefer the zone, but if I ever need something to go further, then I'm gonna be throwing this Buzz OS. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and get into my fairway drivers. Fairway drivers have grown to be one of my favorite, I guess, disc or slots in my bag. I wasn't a huge fairway guy, but they always say that once you get into disc golf a little bit or start elevating your game, then you become more in love with the fairways, which has definitely been the case for me. So I've got a handful of them, but I'll just go ahead and take them out of the bag as they come. So this is my most understable fairway driver. This is an H7. I don't really throw this that often unless the shot shape really calls for a like a roller. I throw this for a roller a lot, or if I need to put it on a ton of hyzer and get it to flip up and all the way over, then I'll throw this H7. But it is a great roller disc. Really like it. I think it's the only Prodigy disc that I bag. So yeah, pretty cool. Next is the Discraft Cicada. This is the First Run Z-Blend. One of my favorite fairway drivers ever. It's one of my most thrown too, but like I said, I really like the fairway driver slot. You can put this thing on a little bit of hyzer, know that it's gonna flip up, maybe turn a little bit depending on the wind, and just go dead straight. It's absolutely money. Couldn't imagine my bag without the Cicada in it. Yep, Discraft Cicada. Next fairway driver is a First Run Athena. I never really threw Athenas like that, and you're gonna see why here in a second, but getting this First Run Athena has definitely elevated my game. The First Run specifically is almost like a Cicada in the sense that I can get this thing to flip up on a little bit of hyzer to flat, but it never really drifts right. It's pretty much always gonna go dead straight and very minimal fade at the end. I don't know if it's just specifically with the First Runs that that's the case, because I've seen some other Athenas that have a little bit more hook to them at the end. But yeah, this First Run Athena has been really, really good to me, and I've really enjoyed it. I don't know if you can tell, but I do bag a lot of Discraft, some DGA. Kind of have a mixed bag, I like to say, but definitely like to throw the more Discraft. But this is one of my favorite discs outside of Discraft, and it's the AB T-Bird 3, the Team Champion series. Whenever he was with them, I actually got this disc that same Christmas 2022 before I really even knew who Anthony Barela was, and didn't really throw it that much because I just didn't really know how to, honestly. Didn't have the arm speed for it or anything. But then found it in my trunk one day, put it back in the bag, fell in love with it because this might be my favorite fairway driver and the best fairway driver ever. I can throw this flat and know that it's gonna go dead straight for most of its flight and then have a really nice consistent fade to the end. If I put this on some anhyzer, I know it's gonna fade out, and it's going to turn over, and while it's turning over, it's gonna try to fade out the whole way. So I can get this thing up to about probably 370 in that range, like 370 to 380, maybe closer to 400 on some of my like monster drives. But yeah, this thing goes just about as far as some of my distance drivers, and it's one of my favorite discs, probably close to my favorite disc ever. AB T-Bird 3. So this disc is one that is in my bag currently, but I'm not sure if it's gonna stay here forever, and that's the AB Cigara. This one just came out this year, and it's just an overstable modified Cicada. Again, I'm not really sure if it has a place in my bag, just because, you know, they say that it's kind of what they want their beat up Athena to be, and I already have that. So I just have it in here right now, just kind of testing it out, doing some field work with it to see if I really want it to have a permanent place in my bag. But it is a really great mold for any of you that are looking for that slot. So yeah, shout out AB for making the Cigara Discraft as well. Really great disc. Next one is the Thunderbird. I lost my Raptor quite a while ago. I had an old ESP Raptor that I really liked, and just felt like experimenting with some other, you know, overstable, higher speed fairway drivers, and came across this JK Thunderbird, and I've really liked it a ton. It's allowed me to really work on my forehand game, because I used to just really rely on like a turnover flex forehand, and this one has allowed me to throw them more straight, not really have to put as much effort into it, and I get it really nice. If I put it on hyzer, flip up, pushes, and then fades. I also throw this on backhand if I need something to just be a little bit more reliable or overstable than like my T-Bird. I throw it there as well. So yeah, Jeremy Cooling Thunderbird. Next one in the bag is one of my favorites to come out of the Tour Series this year for Discraft, and that is the Captain Raptor. Paul Ulibarri has this modified overstable Raptor, and it is money. It is so good. The plastic feels amazing. This thing is always gonna hook left. You can throw it on a flex, you know it's gonna come out left, whether that's on forehand or backhand. I really like it for straight up and down spike hyzers. I know that if I put this up in the air, there's not really much wiggle room. It's gonna go maybe within a 50-foot radius. It's not gonna have too much left to right movement unless you have a huge crosswind one way or another. Like this on a flex forehand, like I said, leaned on this for a really long time with my forehand because it's not the greatest, but you can throw this thing forehand or backhand and know that it's gonna reliably fade out. I also throw it for distance control. I know that it's not gonna go any further than like 300, like 320 on a max shot. So yeah, I like this one a lot. And my last fairway driver, this one is slowly becoming one of my favorites, and that is the Discraft Z Onyx. This is one of the, I can't remember if it's fly dye or if it just happened to be dyed, but yeah, this is one of their dyed Z runs, the Paul Macbeth, and it is amazing. The pros always say, which I'm not a pro by any means, but they always say that beat up Onyx is like one of the must-haves in your bag for a lot of them. And when I got this disc, it was pretty overstable. I got this like almost a year ago now. It was pretty overstable. I could put it on some flex and it was gonna come out left. But now that I've beat it in, it's like beat it to perfection, and I can put it flat and it's gonna go dead straight for like 350 feet and then fade out. It's an amazing run. Couldn't imagine my bag without it. Yeah, it's amazing. And then now I'm gonna go ahead and go into my distance drivers. I got the Innova Champion Shrike. This is a slot that I haven't really, or that I didn't really settle on a disc for it until I threw the Shrike. I had thrown a Shrike a while ago. It was one of the first distance drivers that I could throw pretty far. But now that I feel like my power, has gotten better throughout my disc golf journey, I throw this Shrike for the turnover distance driver shots. It's amazing because you can put it on some hyzer, and if there's no wind, it's gonna pop up and fade right, and then maybe even come back left. But I can also put it flat and know that it's pretty much gonna pan for majority of its flight. This is one of my furthest flying distance drivers when I put it on the correct line, obviously. And I can get this thing probably up to like, I don't know, 420 to the 440 range, somewhere in there. I think my furthest drive ever has been like like 450 or 460. So if I got this one on the right line, I could definitely get a hold of it. But yeah, that's why I love that strike. And then for those of you that don't know me, I'm a sucker for a Discraft nuke. So I have quite a few of those in the bag, 3 of them right here in hand. One of them I'm experimenting with, but I'll get to that one in a sec. So this Big Z Discraft nuke, I really enjoy nukes in Big Z just because you can pretty much just rely on the weight for the variance. I've thrown a lot of other like ESP nukes and even some Z run nukes that they just aren't consistent. Like, you know that they're gonna hook left, but some of them will push 375 before they do, and some of them will push 400. So this Big Z run, I just pretty much know that depending on what weight I get, like that's gonna determine whether or not it goes straighter for longer. So I have this Big Z nuke. This is my bomber nuke. Can put this one flat, even a little bit of anhyzer, and if I have a tailwind on my back, it's gonna go forever. I can throw this, and this is my furthest flying distance driver right now, and I can probably throw it up to around that 440 on a huge distance line, like 450. But consistently, I'm throwing this thing like 400 without a doubt. Just put it flat, it's gonna get some turn, and then it's gonna come back left like a nuke always does. Then this nuke is one that I've added to the bag. Can't remember if it was late last year or early this year, but this is the Anthony Barela Big Z run that they put out. This one is max weight, so it is a little bit more straight, but the more I'm throwing it, the more it's getting beat up, the more straight it's going, and it's always gonna fade. Like I said, this one is just a little bit more overstable than that run of Big Z, or that one that I have, just because it's beat up and a little bit of a lighter weight. I think that one is like 171. And yeah, this one is max weight, a little bit newer to the bag, so it's a little bit more reliable. And then I just got this one, shout out Mellow Disc Golf in the St. Louis area. They just hooked me up with this sick Ezra Robinson. This is from his win at the Supreme Flight Open this year. This disc is so sick. This new Confetti Z Sparkle plastic that Discraft is putting out looks insane. And this one is more overstable. It's pretty comparable to the Anthony Barela Big Z nuke, but I just know that this, since it's newer and in the Z plastic, it's probably gonna hold its overstability a little bit longer than that Big Z plastic will. And so I got this, still kind of experimenting with it in the bag. I can throw it on a forehand and it's reliably gonna go right. So yeah, I really enjoyed throwing this. Love how it flies and looks in the air. And for the last 3 distance drivers that I have in my bag, I got 2 Venoms and a Nuke OS. This is a first run ESP Venom. Really enjoyed this disc, had it for a while now, beat it up to perfection, can throw it dead straight, and it's gonna go dead straight and hook up at like 350. It doesn't go as far as my nukes, but it is a really great workable distance driver for any of those with a little bit of higher arm speed. I would say for an amateur, I have a little bit of a higher arm speed, but nothing crazy. So this Venom has been really awesome. And then I have it in the new Z Swirl Tour Series plastic. This is one of my favorite from this year as well. It's more overstable. I can throw it reliably on a forehand. Like I said, my forehand isn't that good. So I put this out flat to a little bit of anhyzer, and it's gonna go about 300 and then start hooking probably to like 350. So this one has been really nice for me. Can also throw this on reliable hyzers or reliably flat, and it's gonna come back in hyzer just like a Venom would. And then last disc, this is strictly a utility disc pretty much. Nuke OS, I just have it in my bag for if there's any insane headwind and I need to either forehand or backhand and it go left, then I'll take this out of the bag, but it would have to be a pretty insane 20-mile-an-hour headwind or more to throw this, but it is a great disc. Yep, so that's it for the in the bag for my disc. I guess I'll go ahead and show what I have in the bag for the rest of my stuff. So this is the Paul McBeth Grip 1 Series bag. So I had the AX5 for a long time, and it was a great bag, just it had some wear and tear on it. So got this new one with some earnings that I got from Smoking Aces, so shout out to them. Can fit, you know, a good amount of discs, not too many, not too little. Has this slot right here and this slot in the back that I put stuff in. Has great cup holders for any water bottles or big, you know, big services that you might use or anything like that. Got a towel right here. Always got to bring a towel. Have a couple extra at home that I throw on if it's any kind of wet outside. This is my chalk pocket. So got chalk bag in there. I usually keep two in here, but I'm on vacation right now, so I only brought one. Just keep random stuff like my keys and chapstick and my wallet kind of sometimes up here. And then keep my phone, any other thing that I need on this side. If I'm in a tournament and need a snack, I'll keep it over here. And then in this one, I got minis. Got this cool grip mini that came with the bag. Got this Huck mini. So those are the ones I usually use for tournaments. But besides that, I think that's it. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope that you guys can tag along for the rest of my disc golf journey. Thank you so much.